Hello again. Today I will explain things about banks that can change your life and how you can improve your credit depth. Throughout our lives, we inevitably cross paths with banks and lending institutions at some point. One example is the salary we receive from the place we work. We should limit our relationship with the bank where we receive our salary to just that, our salary. Because using products like credit cards or loans from the same bank where we receive our salary is actually not the right choice. In such cases, certain clauses in the agreements we sign with the bank come into play, often working against us. First of all, we should only receive our salary from our salary bank. We should work with a different bank for products like credit cards or loans so that no one other than you knows your income level. In fact, banks do know your income level, but it is not in their interest to fully reflect it in the system, because they are businesses established to make profit. When working with another bank, never state your real income accurately. Show it higher so that it benefits your credit score. So, how can we show a higher income? There are various alternatives. What you need to do is declare your income without physically going to the bank. You can do this through mobile banking systems, because the income you declare via mobile banking may appear official, but it is not actually verified. Banks do not investigate this declared income. Based on what you declare, they update your credit score. You just need to be patient. Do not immediately apply for a loan or credit card right after updating your income to a higher amount. Wait for 1 month so that the income is updated in the system. Do not make consecutive loan or credit card applications. This negatively affects your score. Ideally, you should wait 3 months without making any applications. However, people usually do not research such information before falling into financial difficulty, which is why they don't know it. If they had researched earlier, they would have prepared themselves and solved their problems without any trouble. Friends know this. Even though governments create laws regarding banks, banks always find a back door. The government knows this, but does not react. Why would they, right? Think about it. If banks fully complied with every regulation, how would they make profit? If banks don't make profit, how would the economy survive? Is there any sector that can continue without needing banks? Everything revolves around banks, and governments remain silent about it. I am explaining this to reduce the question marks in your mind and help you understand more comfortably. If we know this, we can make this loophole work for ourselves. Now, where were we? Not making applications for 3 months, and as someone who has learned this, actually waiting those 3 months. So what else should we do while waiting? Withdraw your salary from the bank, or transfer it via mobile banking to the bank where you declared a higher income. Then withdraw that money from the account. The next day, have someone who is not a family member send money to your account via mobile transfer. Ask them to write in the description that they are repaying a debt to you. They can write something else too. That's up to you, as long as it helps increase your apparent income. You can even deposit your withdrawn salary in parts, then withdraw it again and deposit it again. For example, make a purchase with your credit card, then repay it within 1 or 2 hours or the next day. But be careful about the statement date. Make sure you don't create actual debt. While I'm at it, increase your income gradually. Don't draw attention while doing this. For example, show additional income such as rental income from a house you own. You can even claim to be involved in livestock farming. This is up to you. I'm just giving ideas. Expanding and using them according to your interests is up to you. Another important point, do not use loans and credit cards from the same bank. Use them from different banks. When using credit cards, do not rely on a single card with a high limit. Work with multiple banks, but be careful about your debt ratio. Use different banks each month in rotation. Instead of concentrating your limit on one card, distribute it across multiple cards. This will give you better results. And, as I said before, do not get into debt while doing all this. Small debt may be acceptable, but it should not exceed even 1/4 of your card limit, and it should not continue for long. If I started explaining everything I know about banks, one video wouldn't be enough. If you knew what happens behind the scenes in banks, you would be shocked. I learned these things from my clients due to my work. As I continued learning, a question came to my mind. While banks make money from me, why shouldn't I make money by using banks? I found ways to do this without straining my budget. I have been an investor for years. After realizing this, I started making more profit. In other words, I built a strategy and made banks work for me. Yes, banks earned money from me, but I earned even more by investing and managing what they took. Let this be a short example for you. Remember, banks will always make money from you. You just need to turn that into your own profit. Anyway, that's a topic for another video. Now let's return to our credit and credit card usage habits. If you apply what I've explained, you will have an additional limit beyond your fixed limit. This is actually a limit created by banks for you due to your usage habits and lack of debt. This is called the pool system. This is what I've been trying to explain since the beginning of the video, because banks like customers who pay regularly and do not over-borrow. Up to this point, I haven't used complex economic or banking terminology. My goal, and the goal of this channel, is to explain correct information in a simple and understandable way, because you don't really need those technical terms. But if you want me to explain it with terminology, I can do that too. Those who have more knowledge always win. There may be another point that is not fully understood. Showing a high income may indicate that you earn a lot, but banks calculate how much of it you can repay. Don't forget this. A high income does not mean you will pay lower interest. If you want lower interest, your account history, usage habits, and debt level must be consistent with your declared income. Older accounts have advantages over new ones. Now let's explain this with an example. You have 3 credit cards. Let's say their total limit is $20,000. You use these cards without going into debt and without disturbing your usage habits. In such usage, the pool system comes into play. You can increase your limit whenever you want. Let me repeat, using a high-limit single card is not a good thing. The bank is actually investing in your potential to borrow more. You need to turn this into your advantage. For example, you can use it in investments. A small investment you start today may grow into a huge one over the years. Let's also examine this from a credit perspective. If you have managed your habits correctly, your credit score comes into play. There is a big difference between those who manage it correctly and those who do not. For example, apply for a loan with a friend. Your credit scores are the same, but your repayment terms are different. Why do you think that is? Because you applied the right strategy and received a discount on interest, thanks to correct usage, old account advantages, and low debt. So, to summarize, do not get into debt, control the income in your account, show additional income as I explained, and finally, continue using the same cards consistently. Also, always keep long-term investment in the back of your mind. You determine the relationship between you and the bank. Remember, in financial products, the bank should work for you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to learn more. See you in the next video.